Thank you, Serge. How you doing, buddy? You looking good, man. Thank you for your support. Today is Earth Day, and it's a magnificent day for us to announce our Miami Forever carbon neutral plan and our executive summary for our City of Miami's comprehensive stormwater master plan. These are some big, heavy, thick books that we couldn't produce without the help of our team, people like Tico and FPNL who have helped us as well. Thank you so much, Sergio. And of course, our city commission, in particular, the person who is by my side, our vice chair, Chairman Ken Russell, who has done a magnificent job legislating and finding ways to make sure that we can implement this plan in a way that's going to sustain our quality of life for years to come. Environmental quality is crucial to life here in Miami. Our economy and our quality of life depend on it. In recognition of Earth Day and Miami's role as a global leader in the stewardship of our land, air, and ocean, today we're unveiling one of the most comprehensive series of climate and environmental policies and initiatives ever seen in Florida. We're making an unequivocal promise to every resident and visitor to the city of Miami. A promise to lead South Florida and the rest of the state in greenhouse gas reductions, to address current and coming climate impacts by better managing stormwater events, and to protect the health of our rivers and Biscayne Bay. In alignment with cities, countries, businesses, investors, and universities worldwide, the city of Miami is passing a resolution, or has passed a resolution, committed to pursuing carbon neutrality by 2050. Our goal is to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions as is necessary to prevent average global temperatures from increasing any further and creating a Miami that is truly resilient and lasts forever. In order to reach that long-term goal, we are developing a greenhouse gas reduction plan, which you saw a second ago, called Miami Forever Carbon Neutral. That details the actions the city and other key stakeholders need to take. Stakeholders like Tico, who's here with us, and FPNL, who's collaborated with us. Today, we are releasing a draft of this plan so that the public can review and comment over the next 30 days. This plan primarily focuses on our short-term interim target of reducing our greenhouse gas emissions by 60% below 2018 levels by 2035. And we'll get there by tackling our largest sources of emissions, particularly our increasing energy consumption and on-road transportation. To do this, it's no surprise that Miami is going green. G for getting around Miami, R for renewable energy, E for electric vehicles, E for energy efficiency, and N for a new economy. And I want to thank Commissioner Jeff Watson for joining us as well, and Alan Dodd, our Chief Resiliency Officer. Getting residents and visitors out of single occupancy vehicles, leading on electric vehicle infrastructure, bolstering our existing energy efficiency, and creating a green economy focused on job creation will position Miami to be a global leader over the next century. It's no longer a choice between the environment and the economy. The environment is our economy. In accordance with the climate emergency unanimously passed by this commission and the publication of this draft greenhouse gas reduction plan, we're hitting the ground running. Today, the City of Miami Commission will have, or just passed, its first reading of the Building Efficiency 305 program, or BE 305, an energy and water benchmarking and maintenance ordinance of public and private buildings 20,000 square feet or larger. Buildings waste up to 30% of energy and water due to inefficiencies and poor operations. BE 305 will provide building owners and operators with the tools to assess their buildings' efficiency and give tenants a way to compare the places they potentially want to live and work. Aside from climate benefits, the program will save owners and renters up to $15 million over the next 5 years by reducing their utility costs. Of course, one of the most important issues to our residents, our environment, and our economy is protecting Biscayne Bay. Pollutants, excessive fertilizers, and water quality issues have killed off seagrass and have had devastating impacts on our marine life, and today we're reinforcing our commitment to restoring the bay and protecting our environment. In April 2018, we announced our plan to update the city's stormwater master plan. The last update to the plan was in 2012, and it was completely outdated. Today, we're releasing an updated plan with a comprehensive assessment of the city's roads, drainage infrastructure, and water management features to identify the improvements we need to make to address capacity and flooding issues. The report prioritizes recommendations for the city's capital improvement plan and the desire to strengthen Miami's overall resiliency. It also provides numerous recommendations for policy changes, upgrades to stormwater master plan designs and standards, and operational maintenance changes that will improve environmental compliance and water quality. The plan incorporates green infrastructure such as bioswales, natural drainage, and shoreline improvements, proposes additional infrastructure to counter sea level rise, and recommends changes to stormwater infrastructure to filter and capture sediment, debris, and plastics before they can pollute our bay. We recognize the tremendous growth and construction that Miami is experiencing, and this plan has incorporated the Miami 21 zoning code and city's resilience strategy to increase the capacity and effectiveness of the stormwater system. In closing, the city of Miami is committed to protecting and embracing the long-term health of the natural environment, community, and economy, establishing a climate action goal to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. We need our residents, businesses, and stakeholders to join us in this effort to make Miami the most resilient and sustainable city in the world. I'll say a few comments in Spanish. I'll let the commissioner speak, and then I'll answer questions. All right. La calidad de nuestro medio ambiente es crucial aquí en Miami porque nuestra economía y calidad de vida dependen de ello. Es por eso que celebramos el Día de la Tierra. Anunciamos esta serie de iniciativas y políticas ambientales que nos ayudarán a fortalecer nuestro compromiso y rol de líderes global en la conservación del medio ambiente. Sin duda, estamos comprometiéndonos con cada residente y visitante de la ciudad de Miami a liderar el sur de la Florida en reducir los gases de efecto invernadero, en manejar nuestros sistemas de drenaje de una forma más eficiente y proteger la salud de la bahía de Biscayne. Conjunto a otras ciudades, países, negocios, universidades, inversionistas, la ciudad de Miami busca alcanzar cero emisiones de dióxido del carbono a la atmósfera. La meta es prevenir que las temperaturas globales continúen subiendo. Para alcanzar esta meta, estamos trabajando en un plan que detalla los pasos que estaremos tomando para reducir nuestros efectos y compartiremos este plan con el público para recibir sus comentarios y tomar sus opiniones en cuenta. La meta sería reducir nuestras emisiones de dióxido de carbono un 60% para el año 2035. Por otro lado, ya tenemos la versión final del plan maestro de modernizar nuestro sistema de drenaje que se anunció en el 2018. Este proyecto evaluará de manera comprensiva nuestras calles, la infraestructura y funciones de drenajes para mejorar y aumentar su capacidad. Estos son solo algunos de los esfuerzos que la ciudad de Miami está tomando este día tan importante para fortalecer su compromiso de proteger y mejorar la salud de nuestro medio ambiente, nuestra economía y comunidad a largo plazo. Necesitamos el apoyo de nuestros residentes, negocios y todos en general para hacer que Miami sea la ciudad más sostenible y resistente del mundo. Gracias. Now I'm going to have the Vice Chair and District Commissioner who has led many significant initiatives to help us achieve this plan in a real concrete sense. Vice Chairman Ken Russell speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Ken Russell, Vice Chairman of the City Commission. Most of you know me as the Commissioner, but only 6 years ago, I was just a surfboard salesman teaching kite surfing in Biscayne Bay 8 hours a day. I love being in the ocean and bringing people out there to enjoy it and learn a fun sport and just enjoy our environment is so important. It's part of our economy. It was my job. And if we don't take care of it, we lose jobs today, but we lose everything for our future, for our children, our grandchildren. And on a day like Earth Day, you get so many platitudes and initiatives and proclamations, but it means nothing unless a vision is brought into concrete legislation. And it's been very interesting for me to work with such a diverse dais of both progressive and conservative voices to actually pass legislation for this city that makes a big difference, but in a very smart way. Today, we introduced 2 ordinances to help achieve the mayor's vision. And one is this benchmarking. What that basically means is if we're going to get to net zero emissions, we need to measure where we are today. Otherwise, we have no idea. We don't have a roadmap. And so this is an Energy Star rating. Just like you see one on your fridge or your washing machine, now every building in the city will have an Energy Star rating using a free tool provided by the EPA, where basically any landowner or building manager can measure the efficiency of their building on an annual basis, and every 5 years come back and do a retuning. It's not a mandatory retuning. They don't have to invest if they don't want to, but what it's going to show them is that by investing in these efficiencies, their buildings will be more financially efficient as well. We had a robust discussion at the commission about what this means for those who might find it to be a hardship in the city, for affordable housing. It's not just about getting the headline. It's about getting it right so we don't create a burden, so that being good for the environment isn't hurtful to our economy. In fact, it's going to be helpful. So I'm very thankful to my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Watson, and all the others for really helping pass this on first reading. The other ordinance that the mayor mentioned is the fertilizer ordinance. We were the leader as the city of Miami 1 year ago when we passed the first very strong, robust fertilizer ordinance, mandating when fertilizers can be used and where. Now, 1 year later, other cities, and including the county, have followed our lead and have gone along with the same type of legislation. Today, we passed an amendment to that ordinance to make it even stronger, that you're further away from bodies of water to use fertilizer, even longer period of time where there's a moratorium without fertilizer use. What this means is less nutrients in our bay, which means less algae blooms, less oxygen die-off, and less fish kills. I've been traveling the state on behalf of the Everglades Trust for the last few months, visiting with city leaders all over the state. And from the East Coast to the West Coast, everyone has the same water quality problems. And it's about nutrients in the water, starving us of oxygen, and killing fish. So all of us are in this fight together. We all have different types of problems, but it all comes back to the same thing. Everglades restoration, Lake Okeechobee water flow. But really what we're fixing today is about the nutrients that go into our bay. So again, thankful to the mayor's vision, thankful to the commission to supporting the legislation. These are really good steps. So appreciate it, Mayor. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I remember many years ago, I was going to actually wedge myself between the 2 experts. I remember many years ago when I can say I wedged myself between the 2 mayors. I traveled with Al Gore, and I was a city guy and financial person. That's way before he proclaimed himself the founder of the internet, and way before he got a Nobel Peace Prize for his work on climate change. And I remember sitting in discussions, people having to listen about resiliency. And if you think it's difficult to listen to it in English, listen to the mayor when he tried to explain it in Spanish. I just want to say that resiliency is a serious conversation, particularly for us who live in a beautiful city on the water. For the most part, we have to balance between the future of what we have unforeseen and what's current. And so we tried to have a vigorous debate this morning in order to participate in that discussion about what happens for the future of our city. I think as we continue that debate, we look forward to making sure that everyone prospers from our thoughts and decisions today, that we're not doing job-killing activities. We're actually setting the framework for the future of the city. And with that, I thank the mayor and the commission expert on this subject. As we continue to move forward, I'm quite sure you'll be hearing many more great things from them. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really, really want to thank, I mean, we do the political work of getting the legislation passed. Oh, I apologize. I really want to thank personally Colonel Dodd, our director, our chief resilience officer, for his team for putting this legislation together. We would not have anything to pass if we did not have this sort of thoughtful application of the law to help us. So thank you, Colonel.
He
Sorry.
kind of stole my thunder, but that's okay. It's all good. I have to say that Director Dodd, I put him under a lot of pressure because Earth Day is a certain day of the year. And I told him, I want this done by Earth Day because I felt that it was such a significant moment for us to unveil this plan and achieve these two goals simultaneously. And he got it done. Thanks to him. Thank you to Zeri. Thank you to our Public Works Director. A building director who's there, Ace and Juvenal. Thank you to Jose Regalado, who's been working on this for years, actually before he was even working in the city. Thank you to Hector, our CIP director. This was a team effort. And we had monthly, mayoral environmental meetings with the environment community. And we had, a transition, and it was tough. And Alan did a great job. He stepped up and got this done. I mean, this is incredibly comprehensive. We've digested a lot of it. A lot of it is still to be worked on, and I'm excited about the community component of it, and also working with people like TICO and FPNL, which are a big part of the solution and a big part of what we need to get to zero, because we know that a lot of our emissions are happening not just from automobiles, are happening from buildings, and that's something that we have to work on. Questions, English, Spanish? And by the way, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our great communications director, Stephanie, and all of you for covering this, because we do a lot of press conferences, but this is truly, truly important. This is a step in a direction that will lead to a sustainable future, not just for us that are here, but more importantly for our children and for our unborn grandchildren. And I'll say this, one of the most common questions that I get as I'm doing interviews and meeting with people is Miami going to be here in the next 50 years or the next 100 years? And I think this is the beginning of having a comprehensive plan to answer that question in the affirmative. Sí, cómo no.
And ends up here in the bay. And that fertilizer grows algae, which kills the oxygen.
All of that ends up in the water, all of it. And this project that we're doing, hopefully, which will eventually cover the entire city, but it'll start with 1,000 inlets in downtown, we'll be able to remove a significant amount of that